Alright, mega love shout out. Mag-last topic tayo. Balikan natin itong si Congressman Luis Tromabsat. Balikan natin. Kasi nagkaroon sila ng kanina, ng press con after nung hearing mga kabsat sa Justice Committee, nagpa-press con sila. So ito yung mga highlights na mga sinabi ni Congressman Luis Tro. Hindi ito sinihan, hindi ito komedya. Ito ay pandinig ng pananagutan according to Representative Jervil Luis Tro. Not a forum for fantasy. House panel rejects imagination defense in the VP Duterte's impeachment hearing. The House Committee on Justice Wednesday firmly pushed back against attempts to trivialize allegations against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte as a lawmaker. Continued deliberations on impeachment complaints now under review. Opening the third day of the hearing, panel chair Attorney Jervil Jinky Beatriz Luistro of Batangas reminded members that the proceedings were about constitutional accountability, not speculations, imaginations, or political theater. Our pace is deliberately because our duty is delicate, Luistro said on the panel reconvene. Hindi tayo narito para magmadali. Hindi rin tayo narito para magkubli. We are here to uphold the constitution of the Republic of the Philippines calmly, carefully, courageously, she stressed. Luistro also made clear that the committee would not allow serious allegations to be dismissed as hypothetical or merely rhetorical. She underscored the point of the points in Filipino. Hindi ito sinihan, hindi ito komedyante, hindi ito komedya. Ito ay pandinig sa pananagutan. The Justice Panel is now examining whether the third and fourth impeachment complaint against Duterte are sufficient in substance, a key stage in the process that determines whether the accusations is assumed true constitute impeachable offenses under the Constitution. Luistro stressed that allegations raised in the complaints cannot be treated lightly. The allegations are not light materials. Misuse of confidential funds, bribery, grave threats, ill-gotten wealth, grossly disproportionate of lawful income and acts allegedly undermine constitutional order, she pointed out. During early deliberations, lawmakers examined documentation and sworn testimony cited in the complaint. Luistro noted that Akbayan Party List Chair Jokno had pointed to this disbursement documents bearing the Vice President's signature, raising questions about direct knowledge and accountability in handling of confidential funds. Manila Representative Joel Chua, meanwhile, drew attention to sworn affidavit reference in the complaint that allegedly described procurement irregularities and the handling of public funds. The hearing also addressed the constitutional question raised by Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez whether a vice president may be impeached for the acts allegedly committed while currently serving in another government position. Duterte previously served as a Secretary of Department of Education while holding the vice presidency. Several lawmakers rejected the idea that accountability could be separated depending on the office being invoked. Luistro recalled a memorable moment from the hearing when Manila Representative Buenvenido Benny Abante Jr. illustrated the point in striking analogy. Dalawang kamay, isang utak, isang opisyal, isang pananagutan. Tama nga naman, di ba? Our Constitution, Luistro said, holds on the public official accountable, not merely the title attached to a position. One of the most emotional moments in the hearing came from the lawmaker discuss statement attributes to Duterte that some members suggested might have been made jokingly or taken out of context. Negros Occidental Representative Janice Degamo responded invoking the memory of her late husband, Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo, who was assassinated in 2023. So, Degamo's committee ang banta na mula sa the remark Luistro said that unscored how statement from high-ranking officials carry weight and have a real consequences. Threats from this is positions of authority, she added, can create fear and destabilize institution. Luistro emphasized that there are committee responsibility at this stage is limited but critical. Lawmakers are not yet determining guilt. She said that assessing whether the allegations warrant and continuation of the constitutional process. At this stage, we are not deciding guilt. Hindi pa ito hatol. Instead, the panel must determine whether the complaint raises issues serious enough to proceed. Are the allegation is assumed true for the purpose of this stage, sufficiency in substance to warrant further proceedings. Luistro said that the committee must be prepared to dismiss accusations that are speculative or trivial. If the accusations are speculative, we must dismiss them. If they are trivial, we must reject them. But if the complaints are raised genuine constitutional concern, she said that the committee has the duty to allow the process to continue. But if they raise serious constitutional questions about public funds, abuse of authority, and violation of public trust, then we must not close the door prematurely. The committee is expected to vote on Wednesday, kanina, tapos na, the deliberations on whether the third and the fourth impeachment complaint meet the constitutional threshold or sufficiency in substance. So it's 54 affirmative and 1 negative. Si Boy Canor. O, dito naman tayo kay Vice Chair. Vice Chair Zamora, NBI has evidence on VP threats to PBBM. May ebidensya. A vice chair person of the House Committee on Justice on Wednesday involved in the impeachment deliberations against Vice President Sara Duterte said National Bureau of Investigation or NBI already possesses the evidence regarding the alleged threat against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. During the House impeachment proceedings, San Juan Representative Isabel Maria Zamora said that the matter had already been brought before investigators. I'd like to make another manifestations regarding Article 1 of the 4th impeachment complaint, Zamora said during the determination of sufficiency in substance of the 4th impeachment complaint. It was a part the prosecution team in the last impeachment and I handled this and we saw the evidence of the NBI. In fact, for the information of everyone, this went to NBI and the NBI filed a case and they have evidence, Zamora said. Zamora said that conditional nature of this threat being discussed does not diminish their seriousness. Now the threat were conditional. It's inconsequential, he said. Zamora cited testimony previously presented before the committee, recalling statement made by another witness. We heard what Honorable Justice Digamo said yesterday, and I believe that they were all touched and maybe disturbed by what she said yesterday. She said that her family received threats conditional at the start, but in the end, the threat became real, and her husband was murdered. Zamora said, also referred to the video cited in the impeachment complaint. The video that we are talking about was viewed by everyone, including international media, international person. This happened on the 23rd of November 2024, early morning, and we also that how the Vice President hurled expletive and publicly admitted that she had set into motion a clear plot to assassinate President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. Zamora noted that the alleged acts are specifically cited in the impeachment complaint. These acts are stated, as I said earlier, in the paragraph 85 to 111 of the impeachment complaint. Zamora added that the evidence cited in the complaint includes annexes referring or referencing the video. The video that we are all talking about was mentioned in the same annexes of the same complaint. Zamora said, for everyone's information, this is what we call real ipso loquitur, or the thing speaks for itself. O, diba? Malinaw na yung video, son. And then everyone heard that the Vice President said, and again, these are mentioned in the impeachment complaint. Zamora emphasized that the alleged statement itself may already constitute an impeachable act. So we do not go into the element of the different crimes of the revised penal code, but the mere act that she said these words and she contracted an assassin is impeachable in itself. O, di ba? Wala talagang lusot dun. Sigurado. O, yung tatay nila, kasama si Boy Canor. O, hindi daw siya DDS. O, kasama niya pati Sara, o. O, hindi nga DDS, nasa likod lang siya ni Digong. Nako, Diyos ko. At saka kasama si Bongo. O, hindi siya DDS. Nakipicture lang siya, hindi siya DDS. Di ba? O, hindi naman po siya DDS, di ba? Sabi ni this is Bong Suntay. This explains why he is a diehard Duterte supporter, DDS. Hindi nga daw. He was born House Deputy Majority Leader from 2019 to 2022 when Duterte was president and he was a congressman. Prior to 2019, Suntay was appointed by Rodrigo Duterte as one of the 5 directors of Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Wow, Paldo, PCSO. In 2022, he lost to BBM and Martin Romualdez candidate Congressman Marvin Rillo because of Suntay's poor pandemic performance and Rillo's popularity with the masses. In 2025, Suntay made a comeback winning with just a margin of 200 plus votes after Sara Duterte personally campaigned with hindi nga talaga siya DDS. Hindi, kinampanya lang siya. Sabi ko sa inyo hindi. Wala talaga. Diyos ko Lord. Next na tayo. Hindi nga siya DDS. Diyos ko Lord, Rudy. Ito na yung last natin. Jokno, VP cannot escape impeachment by hiding behind DepEd post. A lawmaker on Wednesday warned during the House Committee on Justice hearing that the Vice President Sara Duterte cannot avoid impeachment by invoking her role as Secretary of Department of Education or DepEd. During the deliberation on the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, Akbayan Representative Chel Jokno rejected arguments that actions taken while serving as Education Secretary fall outside the scope of impeachment proceedings. While I continued to respect Congressman Rufus Rodriguez despite his comment about the law dean, I have to disagree with his argument, Jokno said during the hearing. Jokno, former dean of the De La Salle University College of Law, said drawing a distinct between the Vice President constitutional office and her cabinet positions would undermine accountability. If we carry that argument, it is still logical conclusion that it would mean, for example, what if the Vice President were to attend a function as Secretary of Education where the President was also present, and then let's say that hypothetically were a brandish or firearms or even discharge it as a president when does not mean that she cannot be impeached. Diyos ko Lord, Rudy. Kaya problemado sila ngayon sa Leonardo Ansag Nako po. Diyos ko Lord. LC Mix Vlog, shout out. Rani Sierra, Sir Leonardo. Elvira G. Madam Carclea, mega love shout out. Nandiyan pala si Madam Carclea, shout out po. Ayan, good evening Madam. Ngayon lang ako nasa chat box. Nandito na ako. Sabi, ano ba yan? Ma'am Carclea, napaka-generous talaga palagi. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Carclea. God bless po. Then, mula po sa Puon hanggang sa mga taga-sunod, DDS parehas talaga yan. Lams na. Alam na talaga. Daan lang po, Poging Maestro. Shout out. Maraming salamat. God bless, Ma'am Carclea. Yan. More blessings po. Salamat po. Ayan. Sa lahat po, shout out po sa inyo. So, yan lang po, mga Absat. Yun lang po. Kasi medyo madami-dami naman na tayo na-tackle kanina. So, marami pa akong chat-up-chapin. Actually, yung live natin kagabi, hindi ko pa na-chat-up-chap yun. Chat-up-chapin ko na siya ngayon para meron tayong may upload bukas. Medyo delayed yung ating mga uploads. Pero sana, supportan nyo pa rin kahit napanood nyo na kahapon. Alright? So, again, God bless po. Maraming salamat. It's already 11:09. Time to rest. Kita-kisa lang tayo sa ating next live stream. Maraming salamat. Elvira G, Ryan Conese, Elian del Carmen, Leonida. Shout out at sa lahat po. More blessings, Sir Leonardo. Hanggang sa muli, kita-kits tayo sa ating next mo. next live stream. God bless, Absat. Good night.